We live in an age of titans, men who seem to exist on a different plane, their decisions echoing through the foundations of our world. Two, in particular, dominate the stage. On one side, the political showman, Donald Trump, a figure who rewrote the rules of power, not with policy, but with performance. He understood that a rally could be more powerful than a bill, that a nickname could be more damaging than a debate. He speaks a language of gut feelings, of grievance, of a past that he promises to restore. His power comes from the crowd, from the roar, from the feeling that he is their champion against an unseen enemy. On the other side, the technological prophet, Elon Musk, the man who sells the future, space travel, electric cars, brain implants. He promises a world saved not by politics, but by progress. He speaks the language of engineering, of data, of a future he promises to build. His power comes from the blueprint, from the rocket launch, from the feeling that he is our guide to a world beyond our wildest dreams. For years, they moved in different orbits. One commanded the earth of politics, the other the sky of innovation. But now those orbits are colliding. We see it in headlines, in late-night posts, in the nervous chatter of the news media. Trump threatens tariffs that could impact Musk's companies. Musk hints at a new political path, a third way, an America party, a rally here, a cryptic tweet there. It feels like a battle, a heavyweight championship for the soul of the nation. The loud populist king versus the quiet, genius kingmaker. And like any good fight, we are encouraged to pick a side. Are you with the man who wants to make America great again, or the man who wants to take America to Mars? We are drawn to the spectacle. The conflict is simple, it's dramatic, and it's easy to understand. It's a story, and we love stories, we crave them. They help us make sense of a chaotic world. They give us a hero to cheer for and a villain to boo. But what if that's the point? What if the story is the product? What if this grand conflict, this epic clash of titans, isn't a real war at all? What if it's a performance? A carefully staged piece of theater designed for an audience of millions? A show where the script is written by masters of human psychology, and the stage is the entire world. This isn't a story about who will win. This is a story about how the fight itself is designed to change us. It's a story about propaganda. Not the old, grainy, black and white propaganda of war posters and state-run radio. This is a new kind of propaganda. A subtle, seductive, and deeply personal kind. It's a war for our attention, for our loyalty, and for the very way we see reality. To understand what's really happening between Trump and Musk, we have to pull back the curtain. We have to look past the fighters and look at the architects of the fight. We have to ignore the noise and listen for the quiet instructions humming beneath. Because in this war, the most important player isn't Trump, and it isn't Musk. It's you. The word propaganda makes us think of something foreign, something from a history book. We imagine a dictator on a balcony shouting at a mesmerized crowd. We think of lies, brainwashing, and a total loss of freedom. But that's a caricature. The French philosopher Jacques Ellul wrote one of the most important books on the subject, called Propaganda: The Formation of Men's Attitudes. He argued that modern propaganda isn't about telling people obvious lies. It's much smarter than that. It doesn't just attack your mind, it works with your existing beliefs, your deepest anxieties, and your most cherished hopes. It doesn't shout at you, it whispers. It doesn't force you, it nudges you. Modern propaganda, Ellul said, isn't about forcing a false reality on you. It's about creating an environment where you willingly, even eagerly, accept a particular version of reality. It gives you a framework, a set of glasses through which the world seems to make perfect sense. It provides heroes and villains, simple solutions to complex problems, and a sense of belonging to something bigger than yourself. It is, in short, a system for manufacturing consent. It builds a world and then invites you to live in it. The conflict between Trump and Musk is a perfect example of this in action. It's a masterclass in modern propaganda. It's not about a single message. It's about creating a whole ecosystem of messages. You have Trump's political rallies, his social media pronouncements, his constant creation of enemies. This is propaganda of agitation. It's loud, emotional, and designed to get people moving, to stir them up, to create a tribe. Then you have Musk's world. His product launches that feel like religious events. his vision of a future powered by his technology, his calm, data-driven persona that suggests a world beyond the messiness of politics. This is propaganda of integration. It's designed to make you feel part of a system, a forward-thinking movement that is inevitable and good. One agitates the present, the other sells the future. One is a political savior, the other a corporate messiah. They seem like opposites, but they are two sides of the same coin. They are both in the business of narrative engineering. They are building worlds, and the more they clash, the more real those worlds seem. Their fight isn't a bug in the system. It is the system, and it's working perfectly. To understand Donald Trump's power, you have to forget about policy for a moment. Forget the specifics of bills or the details of executive orders. That's not the main stage. The real show is the language. George Lakoff, a cognitive linguist, wrote a book called Don't Think of an Elephant. His central idea is that our brains are wired to think in frames. A frame is a mental structure, a story that shapes how we see the world. If someone says, "Don't think of an elephant," you immediately think of an elephant. You can't help it. The person who controls the frame controls the conversation. Trump is a master of framing. He doesn't argue with his opponents on their terms. He creates his own frame and forces everyone else to play inside it. Take a phrase like fake news. Before Trump, news organizations had a certain authority. You might disagree with them, but you operated within a shared understanding that they were at least part of the official conversation. By relentlessly framing major news outlets as fake, he didn't just criticize them. He created a new reality for his followers. In this new reality, trusting the mainstream media is naive. The only reliable source is the leader himself. He didn't win the argument, he changed the rules of the game. This is a classic propaganda technique. It doesn't convince you with facts. It inoculates you against facts you don't like. Now let's look at his policy threats. Think about the proposed travel bans or massive tariffs. From a purely logistical standpoint, they were often complex and controversial. But the logistics were never the point. The point was the message. The frame. A travel ban isn't just a piece of immigration policy. It's a story. It's a story about a strong leader protecting his people from a dangerous outside world. It draws a clear line in the sand. Inside is safe, outside is dangerous. Us versus them. The policy itself almost becomes secondary to the feeling it creates, a feeling of being protected by a powerful father figure. Lakoff calls this the strict father model of politics. The world is a dangerous place, and you need a strong, disciplined leader to keep you safe and punish those who do wrong. This frame is incredibly powerful because it works on an emotional, subconscious level. It bypasses rational debate. If you believe you are in danger, you don't want a long discussion about the economic impact of a policy. You want a wall? You want a ban? You want a leader who acts decisively. This is where Jacques Ellul's ideas become so important. Ellul said that propaganda is most effective when it creates a simple, binary world. A world of good versus evil, patriot versus traitor, us versus them. Trump's entire political career has been a masterclass in creating these binaries. He creates a tribe. And the first rule of the tribe is loyalty. Loyalty to the leader and loyalty to the other members of the tribe. The witch hunts and hoaxes he talks about are not just complaints. They are loyalty tests. By believing him over the evidence presented by the enemy, his followers strengthen their bond with him and with each other. This constant sense of conflict, of being under attack, keeps the tribe energized. It gives them a purpose. And it makes the leader essential. Without him, the tribe feels vulnerable. This is not just politics. It's psychology. It's about tapping into our deepest needs for identity, for community, and for safety. Trump's method, then, is not to build a political platform. It is to build a psychological fortress. He isn't just selling policies. He is selling a feeling of belonging in a hostile world. He is the guardian of the fortress, and every attack he claims to endure, every enemy he names just makes the walls of that fortress seem taller, and the need for him even greater. He has created a story so compelling that for millions of people it has become more real than reality itself. Now, let's turn to the other titan, Elon Musk. If Trump's world is a fortress built against the chaos of the present, Musk's world is a spaceship escaping to the promise of the future. His persona is not an accident. It is one of the most brilliant branding exercises of the 21st century. He is the rebel billionaire, the anti-CEO, the man who is too busy building the future to care about your silly rules. He posts memes, he picks fights on social media, he smokes on podcasts. He doesn't feel like a corporate suit. He feels like one of us if one of us happened to be a genius with $100 billion. This persona is designed to disarm our natural skepticism of the ultra-wealthy. We are taught to be wary of corporate power. But Musk doesn't seem corporate. He seems like a character from a movie. He is Tony Stark made real. And who doesn't want to root for Tony Stark? But let's look closer at the system he represents. The author Naomi Klein, in her book The Shock Doctrine, describes how moments of crisis, wars, natural disasters, economic collapses, are often used by powerful interests to push through radical changes that would never be accepted in normal times. Musk offers a softer version of this. He doesn't need a war or a hurricane. He uses the constant, low-grade crisis of our modern world. Climate change, traffic, the slow decay of our institutions, even our own mortality. These are the problems that keep us up at night. And for each one, Musk has a solution. A Tesla for climate change. A Boring Company tunnel for traffic. A Neuralink chip for our imperfect brains. A SpaceX rocket for the ultimate escape plan. Another planet. He is selling hope. But it's a very specific kind of hope. It's hope that can be bought. It's a technological salvation. You don't need to engage in messy politics or difficult social change. You just need to believe in the vision and maybe buy the product. This is a profoundly attractive message. It frames progress not as a collective democratic effort, but as the result of a singular genius and his brilliant companies. It tells us that the systems we have now, government, society, culture, are slow, dumb, and obsolete. The future is sleek, efficient, and private. Now, consider the rumors of his political ambitions. The America Party. What would that even look like? It probably wouldn't look like a traditional political party. It would look like one of his companies. It would be branded as techno-optimism. It would be about first principles thinking and data-driven solutions. This is where the ideas of Shoshana Zuboff, who wrote The Age of Surveillance Capitalism, become terrifyingly relevant. Zuboff warns of a new kind of power that seeks to predict and control human behavior by turning our lives into data. A political party run like a tech company wouldn't just be about winning votes. It would be about re-engineering society itself, based on its own models of efficiency and control. Democracy is messy, slow, and inefficient. What if it could be optimized? What if your political opinions could be tracked, modeled, and gently nudged in the correct direction? All for the greater good, of course? Musk's power doesn't come from shouting. It comes from the quiet hum of the server farm. It comes from the elegance of his design. It's the propaganda of the algorithm. It feels clean, logical, and inevitable. It doesn't feel like control because it's wrapped in the language of freedom, innovation, and progress. He has positioned himself as the cool, logical alternative to the loud, emotional chaos of traditional politics embodied by figures like Trump. He's the engineer here to fix the broken machine. But we have to ask, who gets to decide what fixed looks like? Who writes the code for this new society? The promise is a future free from human error. But a future without human error might also be a future without human choice. Musk's persona as the rebellious savior makes us forget that he is building one of the most powerful and centralized systems of control the world has ever seen. He is building the infrastructure of the future. And if we are not careful, we may find ourselves living in a world of his design without ever having been asked if we wanted to. So we have two titans, the political strongman and the technological savior. The man who walls off the present, and the man who sells the future. On the surface, their conflict seems real. Their goals seem opposed. But this is where we have to look at the deeper pattern. This is where we see the true genius of the propaganda. The conflict itself is the tool. Let's go back to Jacques Ellul. He explained that one of the most effective ways to control a population is to create a conflict that you also control. You present people with a choice, but you define the options. Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. Think about it. By staging a public fight, Trump and Musk create a powerful magnetic field. You are almost forced to be pulled to one pole or the other. If you are someone who feels left behind by the modern world, who distrusts elites and institutions, who craves a return to a simpler, stronger nation, Trump's performance speaks directly to you. His fight with the globalist billionaire Musk reinforces your worldview. He is your champion, fighting against the very forces you fear. If you are someone who feels frustrated by the slow pace of government, who believes in technology and progress, who sees politics as an outdated and corrupt system, Musk's performance speaks directly to you. His clashes with the Luddite politician Trump reinforce your worldview. He is your champion, fighting to build the future despite the small-minded men holding it back. Do you see the pattern? Both sides are strengthened by the fight. The more they attack each other, the more loyal their followers become. Their public disagreement is not a sign of weakness. It is a loyalty generator. It solidifies their respective brands. Trump becomes more of a populist hero. Musk becomes more of an innovative martyr. This is a psychological masterstroke. It takes the entire spectrum of public opinion and funnels it into two pre-approved channels. It doesn't matter which one you choose. What matters is that you choose. Because the moment you pick a side, you become predictable. You adopt the tribe's language, its enemies, its worldview. You start defending your chosen titan, not because you've analyzed every position, but because he is your titan. Your identity gets tangled up with his. An attack on him feels like an attack on you. This manufactured conflict serves another deeper purpose. It distracts us. While we are busy cheering or booing in this grand stadium of spectacle, the real structures of power continue their work, uninterrupted. We are so focused on the fight between the two biggest players on the board that we forget to ask if the board itself is fair. Are we talking about wealth inequality? Are we talking about the quiet erosion of privacy? Are we talking about the long-term health of our planet? We are talking about what Trump tweeted about Musk and what Musk replied. The conflict is a diversion. It's a bright, flashing light that keeps our eyes away from the uncomfortable truths in the shadows. It creates an endless stream of drama, outrage, and entertainment. And it keeps us hooked. It's the greatest show on Earth, and it's running 24 hours a day on a screen in your pocket. The war isn't real. It's a recruitment drive, and we are all being drafted. There's a French philosopher named Guy Debord who wrote a book in the 1960s called The Society of the Spectacle. At the time, his ideas seemed radical, almost paranoid. Today, they read like a user manual for the 21st century. Debord's argument was simple. In modern society, real life is being replaced by its image. We are no longer living life directly. We are experiencing a representation of it. Everything, politics, relationships, identity, is becoming a spectacle, a performance to be watched. And in a spectacle, the audience has a very specific role. Your job is to watch. Your job is to react. Think about your own experience. You see a headline about Trump and Musk. What is your first impulse? You might feel a surge of anger. You might feel a sense of validation. You might feel the need to share it, to comment on it, to add your voice to the chorus. That reaction, that is the goal. Your click is a vote. Your share is an endorsement. Your anger is fuel. Your excitement is energy. Whether you love Trump or hate him, whether you believe in Musk or think he's a charlatan, your emotional engagement is what makes the spectacle powerful. You are the battery that keeps the machine running. This is the final brilliant trick of modern propaganda. It has turned us all into unpaid actors in its play. We think we are expressing our individuality when we post our opinion online. We think we are fighting for what we believe in. But more often than not, we are simply performing a role that was written for us. We are playing our part in the spectacle. The system doesn't care if you cheer for the red team or the blue team. It just needs you to be in the stadium, screaming for one of them. Because the real product isn't the political policy or the new technology. The real product is a managed, predictable, and emotionally invested public. A public that is too busy fighting the manufactured war to notice who is selling the tickets. So, what can we do? The first step is to become a bad audience. A good audience reacts on cue. A bad audience asks questions. A good audience gets lost in the story. A bad audience looks for the stagehands in the wings. A good audience cheers and boos. A bad audience watches, thinks, and then chooses not to play the game. This doesn't mean becoming cynical or apathetic. It doesn't mean checking out of society. In fact, it means the opposite. It means checking in, but on your own terms. It means reclaiming your attention. Your attention is the most valuable currency you have. It is a finite resource. And right now, the most powerful people in the world have built a multi-trillion-dollar machine designed to mine it, to capture it, and to sell it. The next time you see them clash, the next time you feel that pull to get angry or to cheer, just stop for 1 second and ask yourself a few questions. Who does this story serve? What emotion is this designed to make me feel? What is this conflict distracting me from? Is this a real event, or is it a scene from a movie I never agreed to be in? Awareness is the beginning of freedom. The moment you see the strings, you are no longer just a puppet. The moment you recognize the frame, you're no longer trapped inside it. The spectacle only has power over us as long as we mistake it for real life. So, who will win the war between Trump and Musk? The strongman or the savior? The king or the kingmaker? This is the wrong question. Asking who will win is like asking who will win between the left hand and the right hand of the same body. The fight itself serves the body. It creates motion, it generates energy, and it keeps the system alive. The real danger isn't that one of them will win. The real danger is that their game becomes the only game in town. The danger is that we forget how to have real political conversations. Conversations that are complex and nuanced, and sometimes have no easy answers. The danger is that we trade the difficult work of democracy for the easy entertainment of spectacle. What happens to a society when its two main models for the future are a return to a mythical past or an escape to a technological fantasy? What happens when we lose the ability to imagine a future that we build together right here on Earth? A future that is not a product to be sold, but a community to be nurtured. This is the question we should be asking. It's not about who wins the fight. It's about what we lose while we are watching it. We lose our time, we lose our focus, and we risk losing the ability to tell the difference between the performance of power and the real thing. The greatest trick the powerful ever pulled was not convincing us they were on our side. It was convincing us to spend all our energy arguing about which one of them was better, while the real world, with all its messy, beautiful, and urgent problems, waited for us to pay attention. The show is loud, the show is bright, and it will continue for as long as we are willing to buy a ticket. The only way to win is to stop watching.